A native of Charlotte, North Carolina, Carrie Cook is grateful for the opportunity to be a servant leader in her local community and beyond. She is the current executive director of the Greenlight Fund and the founder of the nonprofit organization Empowerment. Carrie believes deeply in empowering girls and women to develop their full potential. She understands that honoring our experiences and creating a space to be authentic in our learning, growth, failure, and success creates transformational leaders and communities. She has won multiple awards and acknowledgments, including the Young Public Administrator of the Year Award from the National Forum of Black Public Administrators, Emerging Leader Woman of Achievement by the YWCA Central Carolinas, and the Harvey B. Gantt Community Service Award. The United Negro College Fund recognized Carrie with the Maya Angelou Young Leader Award in 2016, and in 2018, she was recognized as the Woman of the Year by the MEC Times among their 50 most influential women in the Charlotte metro region. Today, we honor the women who care for our community. We give love and light to the experiences that have brought them home to themselves, that have reminded them of their own internal light, that have shifted something, changed something inside. And we share the stories, the truth of their experiences. We find the connection in our own stories. We see their beauty. We see our own. We see their journeys. We see our own. Sharing the story of Carrie Cook, a woman who has learned early the importance of stepping up for herself and for her team, we welcome storyteller Erica Truesdale.
When I think about leadership, and early on in life where I saw my leadership skills develop, I think about high school. It was an outlet for me not only to play basketball, a sport that I loved, but I was a freshman and I was the starting point guard on the team. The point guard is like the floor general. The point guard has to see things and make things happen. Every other team member feeds off of the energy of who's running the point for the team. And as a freshman coming into high school, playing varsity was a big deal. Being the starting point guard was a big deal. So I realized this is a bigger stage. I was a freshman with sophomores and juniors and seniors looking to me to be a guide. They were looking to me for leadership, for energy, for camaraderie, to be that boost. They were looking for me to lead. And I recognized, man, even though I'm a freshman and a lot of these girls are older than me, and I look up to them, they're looking to me to set a tone. And that was a big deal to me. See, I didn't take it lightly. I knew that I would be a part of where we went as a team and how well we did. And to this day, I still have my shirt from Vance High School, one of my basketball shirts. And on the back of it, it says from worst to first. We were last in the conference that year. I came in and was the freshman point guard on varsity. And then we won the conference championship. So we were first in the conference. I look back and I'm reminded when asked to step up, you might not be the likely person. You may be the youngest. You may be the newest, and that's okay. When the opportunity comes, you have to ask yourself, what are you going to do with this? Are you going to step up and be the floor general that you were created to be? Are you going to lead your team with courage and integrity? I'm always going to roll with my team. That's who I am. And I'm still close with my Vance High School teammates to this day. They know if something comes up in the game, Carrie's going to have your back. Not only am I going to have your back, but I'm going to do what needs to be done so we can get the mission accomplished as this team. That's what a floor general does. You step in and take whatever the assignment is for that day. And although I was the floor general on the basketball court, my home life was quite chaotic. My father was getting ready to go back to prison. And it was a time as a teenager where I was trying to figure life out. I was trying to figure my identity out. It was crazy. So I acted out. I acted out trying to figure out life. Basketball was my outlet, but there were times when I wasn't in my outlet that I didn't know how to cope with certain things going on in our family dynamic. So, Jametta. Jametta Martin Tanner was an assistant principal at Vance High School, and she was my AP, but really more like my guardian angel. I call her my angel principal. I was doing stuff I have no business doing at the time. And there was one instance I remember vividly. I was in class and the other kid was saying something and we were going back and forth and back and forth. And I got up in his face. I did. And it was definitely an instance where I maybe should have gotten suspended. I should have gotten in trouble in some kind of way just because of the way the confrontation went down. And we were, disrupting class. But instead of that, Jametta took me in her office. And Jametta, she said, listen, you've got to realize what you've got inside of you. And this is why you have these different things coming at you. You've got stuff going on, but you've got to learn how to cope better. You have to realize the potential that you have in you. Let's not blow that up. And so she pulled me in and she let me work with her and sit with her. She put my energy to use in a great way. That wasn't, and that wasn't the only time. At different times, she had a message and a word for me. She stood up and stood in for me. She wasn't going to let me be another child lost to the school to prison pipeline. She wasn't going to let me be discarded or tossed away. She wasn't going to let that happen to me. And I think Jametta saw her students in herself. She saw parts of herself, parts of her family. There were a lot of us, especially young Black women, that she inspired and got together. She wasn't willing to accept mediocrity, but she was willing to fight like hell for us. Jametta was like, nah, I'm standing in the gap. I'm standing up for you. I was coaching basketball at Vance High School when I had my full circle moment. I was coaching there because this is a place that poured so much into me, that gave me so much in my formative years. And it was then that I realized that these girls, they really need outlets at this point in their lives. And this meant so much to me, that I was working a full-time job and showing up to coach after work. When I was there, I started to notice something. I would see other girls that weren't even a part of the basketball team wanted my attention. They'd be like, hey, Coach Cook, hey, what's up, Coach Cook? I could see that they wanted to have that connection, that relationship with another woman leader in the community. And I noticed that a lot of the programs that used to exist when I was there was no longer there. So this was definitely a full circle moment for me. I couldn't deny the power of what was going on. And I went into planning mode, floor general stuff, right? And it was clear that there are girls on the team and just other girls who are looking for that connection with adult women leaders. So how can we pull them in? How can we be what they need at this point in their life, like Jametta was for me at that point in my life? And that was the summer. That's the summer when I decided to do the Youth Empowerment Summit. And it would be the perfect opportunity to bring girls and women in our community together. And I didn't know what the outcome would be. I didn't know what exactly it would lead to, but I knew that it was needed. I knew it was time. So we had the very first Empowerment Summit that year. And 9 years later, Empowerment is a fully functioning nonprofit organization that connects girls and women in this community in such an impactful and important way. We stand in the gap. We stand with and for these girls and help them realize their full potential. In the way that Jametta did for me, I show up in this way because of Jametta and all of the other women who were teachers and mentors as I grew and learned who I wanted to become. And I am because of these women who were the floor captains in my life. And as I move through life, I keep the goal in mind. And the goal is to think about all of the other women who poured into me and to not just take that and leave, but to figure out how to let that cup run over and to pour into others. I don't want my cup to have filled up and be like, I'm good. No, my cup should be filling others over and over and over again. That's what a good floor captain does. You know, that's how I show up. That's how I lead.